Hey everyone, I was actually just looking at some information on H.P. Blavatsky and the Lucis Trust Fund. Okay, this is basically, it's a organization, it's one of many organizations that does charitable work, but actually, this goes much deeper than just the typical, donating money and just these material ideas. This is actually about a spiritual development. And a lot of these organizations study this energy you get by doing charitable work, like the Freemasons, really the entire Vatican. They all do these kind of charitable works. And really it's about the study of energy. It's like seeing the world as this unified field of consciousness. So this would make like the ideal mindset for this kind of omnipresent consciousness. The kind of mindset you should have is selfless. If you look at Blavatsky's work, like the Secret Doctrine and the studies on theosophy, this is a study that Lucifer is like this bright center of this field of energy, like the toroidal field. You could look at it it's like we say for the benefit of all. This would be like the all, the all is atum, like all is atoms. Everything is atoms. So it's like the Creator exists and can only be found in this world when you have this mindset of thinking for the benefit of all, as all is one. So everything and everyone in this world, that is the Creator, and that's the only way to view the world. And then the Creator sort of reveals herself, but this is at the spiritual highest frequency. It's like when you have to stop all of the I want that house and I want that new device, and where's my next paycheck coming from? When you're thinking like this, then you're at the lowest frequency of the Creator. So you have to stop focusing on all these individual material possessions. Okay, it's basically here. I can try to show you. Forgive me, I haven't drawn in a long time. I used to draw all the time, but let me try to make this not terrible. Okay, so we're on this flat Earth plane. So this would be the center. This is X marks the spot at the center. And so this would be the toroidal field. This is the center of the toroidal field. This is Lucifer. This is the great dragon Typhon, the living dynamo. So this is what creates life. So life starts from the center, and then you create life. You can create the trees. So from the living dynamo, you create the trees, and it creates you. And it creates all the animals. But it all starts from a center, and this creates life. And so further from the center, so the center is the highest frequency of spirituality and the Creator. And the further you go, now you're creating life. Now, what we see in the world, the houses, all these possessions. Okay, so you have a house. Now, how did you get that house? The house only came from someone gave its life. This tree had to give its life to make the wood for this inanimate object, this house. So it started with life, and then part of this life sacrificed part of itself. It had to kill off part of itself to make this house, get the material for this house. And the cotton plants had to give their life so you can make the shirt on your back, and that burger, that roast beef sandwich you had, there's a cow that had to give its life. So it starts from the center, and these possessions we have the food. Yeah, like the food, the house. Yeah, it started from the center, and then the tree had to give its life so you could have the wood to make that house. The animal had to give its life to get the meat for that sandwich, that burger. So the further you get from the center, it starts with the highest frequency of spirituality, and then the further you go, like the trees, the life has to give its life to make the world that we live in. You know, see, the houses are all made from dead trees. This is why we're in the land of the dead. So you go from the center, the living dynamo, and you go into the land of the dead. Because the life all gave its life to make this world that we live in. It's all made from wood and dead material. Okay, so after you have the burger, you have the sandwich, and what's going to happen? You're going to, piss it out, crap it out. So it's going to go back out. And then it goes out like if you piss it out, like it goes in the toilet, it goes to the ocean, or you throw out the you throw out the trash, it goes into the ground, or it goes into the air. But what I'm saying is, like, everything goes back. Like if it goes into the water or goes in the ground, that goes back to, eventually it goes back into the earth and goes back to the center. So it goes back into the living dynamo. It goes back to the highest frequency. Eventually everything in a toroidal field goes back to the center. But the center is the highest frequency. That's the life. It starts with the living dynamo, and then it has to kind of break off and kill off parts of itself to make this world. But eventually everything will go back to the center, because that is that's the real world. You see, that's a toroidal field. Everything starts in the center, goes out, creates the world, creates all the material in the world in which we live. Eventually it goes around and then it goes back to the center. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring the light from the center. We create this world, and eventually we have to go back. So that's kind of a way of looking at it. So I'm going to kind of make more illustrations like this to kind of make the picture a little clearer. So I hope this helps. So I'm going to keep doing stuff like this. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. More videos to come. Stick around.